Hello, everybody. Today we will discuss about the signals that are used in order to design and implement the concept of any signal and system. So, in this lecture, we will try to discuss the concept of the signals, means what are the different types of the signals and how these signals are generated, and what are the impact of these signals during the time of the designing and implementation of any system here. So in this one, first of all, we would like to review the concept of the signals, which we have covered, because we are in the at the stage of the design and implementation of the signal and system, and we have gone through the concept of the signals. As we know, if we have to define any signal here, then signal is nothing but that one can be said to here a physical quantity or the quality or the energy that changes with respect to any variable like the time, space, or any other variable, or it may change with respect to more than one variable, and specifically it must convey some information. Only then we can say it is the signal. And for example, say some voice is coming to me, and then on thinking on that voice, we respond it. Then whatever is the voice that is coming to me, that can be considered as the input signal or the excitation, response, or whatever is our action, that may be considered as the output here. So suppose some my friends calls me or says hello, hi, then whatever is the voice of my friend, that may be named as the excitation, and my thinking, that may be considered as the processing. So after thinking, whatever is the response, whatever is the action or the reaction, that will be known as the response here. Now if we think about the working of the mind, what happens when the stimulus comes, some input comes here, then what happens, we perceive it. After perceiving, we store here some useful information in our memory, and if we are in position to retrieve it at the time of the requirement, then we say that has been become an idea. And if we are in position to perform on the basis of those ideas, then that is named as the concept, and on the basis of these concepts we perform. That is the response depends upon this cycle here, that is the perceiving, storing, retrieving, and then here the performing. So whatever is our response, if that response is satisfactory, it's okay. Otherwise, there is a need of the reinforcement, and this reinforcement may be at different levels, at the level of the idea or at the level of the input itself here. Now, in addition of these, there are some basic needs, like the for the purpose of the perception, attention is required, and for the purpose of the attention, here the motivation, and the motivation may be the internal or the external, that is the intrinsic or the extrinsic is required, because the attention will depend upon the these motivations here, and these motivations also depends upon the basic needs. Now if we see, then we will find this is a cycle here that defines the learner's cycle here, means how the input is coming to any person or the brain here, then after perception, storing, retrieving, and performing, what is the response, and the response is analyzed. Then here the some modification, reinforcements is required, but the performance of this working, that is the whatever is the excitation and what is the thinking and what will be the response, this also depends upon some parameters here, like the attention, that is the motivation, external or internal, and it requires the basic needs. So these terms may be considered as the constraints here, and this may be named as the model of the learner here. So on the basis of these learning, we respond here. Similarly, on the basis of the learning, a system responds. When we design any algorithm for the purpose of the to get some response as per our requirement, then on the basis of the learning, the system will respond on the input signal. So system will respond on the input signal in order to get the desired output here. Now again, if we describe here the signals and signals here, then whatever is the excitation, after thinking, we will get here the response. Now thinking is nothing but that depends upon the learner's learning process. And here if we can say whatever is the conversion depends on the learning here. So the learning is nothing but that is like a processing here. Similarly, when the excitation is converted into the response, then it is named as the signal processing. Here, whatever is the input that has been processed, such that that has been converted in the form of the action or the reaction. Now, if the signal is there and the signals here the excitation is there, and that excitation has been converted into the response, then the responsible to convert the excitation into the response is nothing but that one is the signal processing here. Now, this if we a typical region of the signal processing, while the signal processing takes place, it is to eliminate or reduce the unwanted portion of the signal, undesired signal here. And similarly, if we convert the original signal into a form, we are trying to convert the original signal in such a form that is suitable for further processing, for the purpose of the monitoring, for the purpose of the further processing and communicating or the transmitting, etc. here. Now, one fundamental representation of a signal means, so if we are interested in order to design any system, then first of all we have to think about the signal, because the system or the process operates on the signal in order to get or in order to achieve or to attain here the output. Here the input as well as output, both are the signals here. So we have to think about the representation of the signal here. So for the basic representation of the any signal, that is the fundamental representation of a signal, we use a function, and that function may have the one variable or more than one variables here. That may be function of the single variable, very simple function, or that may be a complex function depending upon the more than one variable. That may be here without memory, that is without any differential equation or without any differential equation, or that may be linear or that may be non-linear depending upon the polynomials only here. So if we here the see that we are interested to describe any signal here, the signal is nothing but that is a physical value, that is a physical quantity that changes with respect to any variable or more than one variable. For example, we can consider any variable like the time, frequency, space, etc. here. So the representation of the signal value as a function of the independent variable. What is the independent variable here? The independent variable will become here the time, frequency, etc. here. And so if any physical quantity or the value or the energy is represented in terms of this independent variable, then that is named as the waveform here. Now, we define a signal as a function of one or more independent variables that contains the information about the behavior or the nature of the phenomena. Means how the phenomena is taking place, that will be mathematically described with the help of the a function that depends upon the one variable or more than one variables here. So here, if we are interested to design any system, then we have to think about the signals here. Now, the signals, for example, if we consider the time as the independent variable, then the signal may be present for each and every time. So that type of the signal will be named as the continuous time signal. That is here the continuous signal is a signal that exists at each instant of the time. And in the here we can consider the different types of also we define it the continuous time or the analog signal. Why it is called as the analog signal? Because whatever is the phenomena is taking place in the real life, the generated signal is analogous to that one here. So here the independent variable is a continuous variable, and here the value is changing with respect to this continuous here the independent variable here. Similarly, for the examples, that may be sinusoidal signal, damped sinusoidal signal, that may be a polar function, that may be a three-dimensional signal, but these signals are continuous for each and every value of the independent variable here. Now, the second domain is the discrete time signal. In the discrete time signal, we know whatever is the time constant, that will be discretized into the equal spaces here of the time, and that will depend upon the sampling frequency. If the sampling frequency is the fs, then the time slot will be considered as the time period will be considered as 1 upon the fs here. And now the signal will exist for the discrete time, means for the certain duration we will select the signal, and for the same duration we will discard the signal, and this type of the signal will be named as the discrete time signal here. Now, discrete time signal can be obtained by taking the samples of the analog signals, that is the sampling is required here, and whatever is the sample, if again that is discretized in the amplitude domain also, and then it is represented by the digits here, then that becomes the digital signal here. So, and the examples like the stem function may be named as the discrete time signal or the digital signal here, or say this is the continuous time signal here. See, this is the sinusoidal signal here, and we have generated the discrete time signal from this continuous signal here. Now, the continuous time signal, that is the here the blue in color, it exists for each and every time here, but the discrete time signal exists for certain duration, and for the next duration the signal is absent. Again, it exists for the next duration here, and so on here. Now, we will consider here, so far we have discussed that the signal is nothing but the signal is a physical quantity or the physical phenomena or the physical energy that changes with respect to one variable or more than one variables, and it conveys some specific information. And we have also discussed that the signal may be the discrete time signal or the analog type signal here. Now we will try to here define some signal in mathematical terms, and then we will try to generate these signals using the MATLAB concept, so that we can utilize these signals during the time of the designing and analysis of our algorithm or our system here. Now, if we consider the very basic signal, that is the sinusoidal signal. Sinusoidal signal is represented by this equation, that is the here the xs that is a function of the t. This represents the here the variable xs is changing with respect to t. How it is changing? This is the maximum value, that is known as the amplitude sinusoidal function of the 2 pi fs t. Fs is the frequency, and here the t is the time, phi is the phase here. Fs represents the frequency in hertz, t represents the time in seconds, and phi represents the phase in radian. And this is the equation, and in order to represent this equation graphically, this equation can be represented by this graph here. That is, this is the maximum value of the xs, and this is the minimum value of the xs here, and it is changing with the changing of the nature is the sinusoidal here, and the phase phi s is the phase here. Now we will try to generate this signal with the help of the MATLAB code here. So first of all, we have to define this value here. What is the xs, maximum value here? Then we will define the fs, that is the frequency, and then we will define the phi, phase, and then we will define the time. Now, time has a range, so we will start from first initial time to the final time, and then we will also describe what will be the step, that is the gap between the two consecutive times here, which we have selected here. So the initial time is the minus 0.1, and final time is the t2 0.2, and step size has been considered as 0.01. So we will write a vector here, the t. T is nothing but it starts from t1, it is the initial value, and this is the final value, and this is the gap here. If we have not defined any gap, then by default the gap will be 1 here. So here this vector t will now we have defined the amplitude, the frequency, phi, and the time vector. Then we will define here the x, that is the function here. It is nothing but it is the xs sine 2 pi fs t plus phi here, and then we will use the plot x t comma x here, and on the x level we will write the time t, and the y level we will write here the xs, that is the value of the xs here, and then we will get this graph here, which we have represented here. And the title of this one is naturally written as the xs is equal to xs sine 2 pi fs t plus phi s. Now we can generate this signal here, and grading is applied. So after grading we will get this one. Now we can also test these ports, whether this is the suitable, these are the suitable ports or not. So in order to generate the signal, suppose we have written these ports on the MATLAB command window here. So we will utilize here the MATLAB command window. First, we will write here the CLC to make it clear here. So now it is clear, and we will write here the commands here. Whatever we have written the commands in our PPT, the same has been represented here. Now we will see here the response. What is the response of these ports here? Means how the signal will be generated. Which here we have written the code. Then now see what is the signal. This is the generated signal here on the time axis. The title is the T, on the y-axis the title is the XS, and the title of the graph is the XST, XS sine 2 pi FST plus phi S. So here we are discussing the concept of the signal, means what is the signal, and then we are also trying to generate the different types of the signals which will be utilized in order to design and implement a system here. So again we are coming to the next point here, that is for the next slide here. Now suppose we are interested to generate some periodic signals like the sawtooth signal here. So for the what is the sawtooth, we have, in order to generate the sawtooth, we will just write here the sawtooth here. What is the sawtooth function? Sawtooth T is a vector. It generates a sawtooth wave with period of the 2 pi for the elements of the time vector T. So if we have defined the time vector T and we write the sawtooth T, then it will generate a sawtooth wave with period of the 2 pi for the elements of the time vector T here. Sawtooth T is like just like the sine T, but here the nature of the wave will be changed here. So in place of the sinusoidal, now it will become the sawtooth here, and the maximum to minimum range will be the plus minus to the minus 1 here. And same is true for the square wave T also here. So for the square wave, we will write here the square T, and for the sawtooth waveform generation, we will utilize this function, that is the sawtooth T here. So here see, we are just trying to describe the T. T is 0 to here the 1.5, and the gap is 1 by Fs. And what is the Fs? Fs has been defined by here the 10,000. So if we utilize this concept, then we can describe here the T. T is vector, that is the initial value is 0, final value is the 1.5, and the step size is 1 by Fs, where Fs is the 10,000. Then we will write a vector a function sawtooth in order to generate the vector x, such that the sawtooth 2 pi 50t, then sawtooth wave we will generate it, and then we will write a command plot T comma x, that is on the x-axis the time, and the y-axis the x which has been generated here. So what is the x-axis? The sawtooth waveform here, and the axis here, the x-axis will be 0 to 0.2. This is the limit of the x-axis, and this is the limit of the y-axis, minus 1 to 1 here. Now see the response, that is that this will be the response here, starting from 0 to 0.2 on the x-axis and minus 1 to 1 on the y-axis, and the generated waveform will be the sawtooth waveform here. Similarly, we can generate here the square wave, and for again, in order to generate the square wave, we have to define the time vector T. T is again defined in terms of the Fs, and here we have defined the Fs is 10,000, and T is defined as a vector, that is the initial value to the final value, having a gap of the 1 upon Fs. And in order to generate the x, or the here this function square, we will utilize only this function, that is the square 2 pi 50t, and then again we will utilize the same command, or like the plot T comma x, axis is will be defined here 0 to 0.2 on the x-axis, and the limit of the y-axis is the minus 1 to 1. Now see the result here. Here the shape of the generated waveform is the square wave, and now we can generate this type of the signal using the sawtooth or the square function here. And now suppose we are interested in order to generate some aperiodic function like the chirp function. So for in order to generate the chirp function here, we will define the here what is the chirp function. See, this is the swept frequency cosine generator here. When we write y is equal to chirp t comma f naught t1 comma f1, then it generates the samples of a linear swept frequency signal at the time instance defined in array t. Here the array will be defined in time t, and the instantaneous frequency at time 0 is the f naught. This is the f naught at the time 0, f naught hertz, and the instantaneous frequency f1 is achieved at the time t1 here. So here by default we will select the f naught as equal to 0 and t1 as equal to 1 and f1 as equal to 100 here. So if we write this command here, that is the t is 0 to 2 having a gap of the 1 by 1000 here, and y is a chirp function, and here we have defined that t, then f naught is 0, t1 is 1, and capital F1 is the 150 here. And we are interested in order to get the spectrum of this graph of the, that is the spectrum here. Now see the result. This will be the result of this type of the command which we have written here. Similarly, if we are interested in order to generate the swept frequency cosine generator in terms of the Gaussian pulse, then we will write here the y is equal to Gauss pulse and Gauss pulse t10 1 and the 150 here. Now see here the result is this one. Now we can also check these functions whether these codes are okay in order to generate these type of the signals or not. So in order to generate these signals, we will write these commands in the command window of the MATLAB to check it whether this type of these codes are okay in order to generate the required waveform or not here. Now see the result here. This is the result here which we have generated here, and the same has been also represented here, and we can see this one in the full screen like this one here. Now suppose we are interested in order to copy this one, then go to the edit option here, and from the edit you just select the copy figure. From the edit, select the copy figure and the copy the figure and paste it as the required place here. So this is the presentation of one signal, and if we are interested for to generate the another type of the signal also, that is using the Gaussian pulse, then we can write this one here to the Gaussian pulse. Go to the Gaussian pulse command here. This is the command of the Gaussian pulse. Select, and then we will write it into the MATLAB command window here, and now we will see the result. Then we will find that the result is related to the Gaussian function here. Here, this is the for the Gaussian function here. Again, if we are interested to copy and paste it for at a required place, then again we will move to the edit option and copy the here copy the figure and paste it at the required place here. So this is the way by which we can generate the aperiodic signals like the Gaussian and the chirp signal here. Now we are moving to the another one, that is the pulse train function here. Now if we write here the pulse train function, then it is the syntax of the pulse train function is like this one, that is y is equal to pulse train t comma d then function. It generates a pulse train based on a samples of the continuous function. That function has been defined here. FUNC means that function. Here we will define the function. So on the basis of that function, it will generate a pulse train based on the samples of a continuous function of this function here. The function is evaluated over the range of the argument values specified in array T after removing a scalar argument offset that taken as the vector d. For example, if if we are interested to evaluate the length d times of the function, suppose we retain, then that will be nothing but the y is equal to function, then t subtract, here the d will be subtracted from this one, that is the d1. Similarly, function t minus d2 and so on, it will be generated here. Now see here, if we are interested in order to generate any signal and say that t is defined here, the first array t is defined into this term, and second is that d vector is defined in this term here. And after the defining and t and d, we have to select a function. Suppose we select here the Gauss pulse function here, then we will write this function, then we will get here the result. And here the result is the red. We are interested in order to plot the t comma y comma r. Here now, if we write here the g, naturally the function that will be generated will be the green in color. Again, we can check it whether the code is working or not. If there is any problem, then that problem will be displayed with the help of the MATLAB here. So in the command window of the MATLAB, we will write these commands here and we will see the result here. What is the result? Now there is some result, some error. For example, when we write the plot, see there is the error here because this is written as in the red in color here. So we can write this one something like in this manner, that is supposed to be Control C and write here Control V and say this is written something like in this manner, that is the inverted comma, then R inverted comma, and now put here the enter sign here. Now if we see, then we will find the result here. Now the result has been generated red in color. Now in place of the red, suppose we are interested for the another color here, then the same can be generated here also. Suppose we write here the Control V, and so in place of the R, now suppose we write here the green in color. We will see the another function that will be generated here, but the function is same, but the color will be different here. That is the line specifier here. We have changed the line specifier and we will get here the different color here. Now we can again generate the different types of the functions or the signals depending upon the MATLAB commands here. Suppose we are interested in order to generate the sync function. So in order to generate the sync function, again we will just write here the sync. When we write the sync function computes the mathematical sync function for an input vector or the matrix, that is the x here. If we write the sync x, then sync function will be generated, and the sync function is the continuous inverse Fourier transformation of the rectangular pulse having the width of the 2n and height of the 1. When we write the sync x, it returns a matrix whose elements are the sync of the elements of x. That is, if we write the y is equal to sine pi x divided by pi x, then its value, this is value exists only when the x is not equal to 0. And if x is equal to 0, then at that time this value will become 1. So here if we see the command, if we write the command here, line space, that is the linear space vector will be generated here, then and y sync x and then plot x comma y. Now see the result here. The range is -5 to the 5 here, -5 to the 5, -5 to the 5, and the function will be generated. The sync x will be generated here. Now again we can check this function, whether this function is working or not, whether this set of the command is working or not. So we were on this slide, though. So we take these codes here, and these codes can be checked in the MATLAB command window. Just write here the code, and you will see the result here, whether sync function is generated or not. That is, we are trying to here the plot the x comma y, where the y is plot of the sync of the x and x is defined here in first one. Now see the sync function that has been generated here using the MATLAB code here. So these are the different functions that can be generated using the mathematical model. Here first we have to define the behavior of the model, then that model has to be described mathematically, and then we will write the MATLAB code in order to generate these functions here. So we have discussed the MATLAB sync function. Now we are coming to the another type of the function, that is the Dirichlet function. In order to generate the Dirichlet function, we have to utilize only the simple command, that is the Diric. Here the Dirichlet, it will generate the Dirichlet or the periodic sync function here. When we write the y is equal to Diric x comma n, it returns a matrix the same size, whatever is the size of the x, whose elements are the Dirichlet function. Each element will become the Dirichlet function of the elements x here. Positive integer n is the number of the equally spaced extrema of the function in the interval 0 to 2 pi here. So Dirichlet function x is defined mathematically something like in this manner: -1 to the power k n minus 1, where x is equal to 2 pi k and k is plus minus 1, 2, and so on here. And if the for other values of the k, here it is defined as that sine nx by 2 upon n sine x by 2 here. This is the Dirichlet function, and when we write the y Diric xn, it returns a matrix of the same size, whatever is size of the x, whose elements are the Dirichlet function of the elements x. So here see, this is very complex function, but how it will be generated in very simple manner here. So in order to plot the Dirichlet function, suppose we are interested for the n7 and 8, we write here the code. That is the, if we write here the g x is equal to line space 0.4 pi and last value is the 300, it means it will generate the linearly spaced vector here. And subplot 2 to 211. When we write the 211 means the total area, total space will be divided into 2 cross 1. That is the 2 rows, 1 column here, and then 211, the first one here, will be plot of the between the x and the Dirichlet function having the n is 7, and the second one is the 212 subplot, that is the here Dirichlet function of the x, but value of the n is 8 here. Now see the result here. The result will be something like in this manner, that is the total space has been divided into the 2 cross 1. The column is 1, but the rows are 2. Here the subplot first one will be the 211, that is the 2 rows, and but here we are selecting the first space here. For this one, that is the n is equal to 7. For the n is equal to 8, we have selected the 212 here. Now suppose we are interested in order to generate a function that is named as the exponential function here, and x is the any value, and the exponentially it is increasing or decreasing depending upon the bt value here. So if we describe this, we are interested in order to generate this type of the function, then first we will write here the function itself, that is the x inline. When we say inline means that function will be generated, this x vector will be generated according to this function here, that is the xe then multiply e to power bt, and here the t the parameters are the variables are the t, xe, and the b here. We will define the xe. Suppose the value of the x is 0.8, b is 0.5 minus 0.5, t is a vector starting value and the final value. So by default the gap will be the 1 here. Initial value is the 0 and final value is the 8. So t1 to t2, that is the 0 to 8 here. Then f plot, when we write the, there are the two commands. One is the plot. When we say plot x comma y, means there will be a plot between the x versus y here. But if we write the f plot means function will be plotted here. So here if we write the f plot, so the on the x-axis will be the here the x and here the x comma t, and then f plot will be taken place here for this one here. Now if we on the x-axis we write here the t, and the y-axis we write the xe, and title is the same whatever we have written here, that is the xe e to power bt, and grading. Now see here the function xe t will be represented in terms of the xe e to the power bt. Naturally the b is negative, so function is decreasing, exponentially decreasing function here. Now again we can check these commands for whatever we have written here. Suppose we are interested in order to check the commands here, so we can check the commands. If there are the errors, then accordingly we can correct them. Suppose we have written here the code, and now see the result. After writing the code, here the function will be changed. This is for the string function. Now it is for the exponential function for which we are interested here. We have written the code, then we will draw. We can draw this graph by writing this code here on the MATLAB command window here. Now we are moving to another type of the signal that is used during the time of the testing of any signal, any system. When we have designed any system, then for the purpose of the testing, we generally use the unit step signal, because in unit step there is sudden change, and there is one portion there is no change. So we can say there are both the sections. At the worst, because the changing is taking place in within the 0 time, and there is no change, best condition. Worst and best both are existing there. So we see what is the unit impulse response of a designed system. Unit step is defined as the 1 for the positive values of the t, and it is defined as the 0 for the negative value of the t here. Now in order to generate any unit step function, we will define here the x is a vector in line, that is the for t is greater than 0 it exists, and the t1 here will be define the t1 starts from -2 to 6 here, and the f plot between the x and the t. X level, now we will write t on the x level, on the y level we will write the u. Title is the unit step signal, and the axis is here the t will be 0, the axis is 0.1, t to 0. Minus 0.1, and then 1 to 1.1 here. Now see here this is the response here. That is the for the unit step here, which we have defined here. On the x-axis we have written the t, on the y-axis u, and here the title is unit step signal, whatever we have written here for the title. Now similarly, if we are interested for the pulse signal, the pulse signal can be, as we know, pulse signal can be generated here. That is the y 1 upon here say epsilon, and here the t exists from the 0 to epsilon here. Then we can generate this one again by the same method. That is the x will be defined here for the t is for it will exist for a range of the t, and it will become the 0 otherwise here. Then here we will define the different values of the e and the vector t. Then we will write the f command, f plot set here the GCA, and then font size will be taken at the 16, and the x level, on the x level we will write the t, on y level we will write this one here, and then we will find here the graph. This is the pulse function here. That is the existing for very small time, that is the like the unit impulse function here. So far we have discussed the different type of the signals. Means we have started the discussion what is the signal, and we have decided we have also discussed that the signal may be the two types. One is the continuous time, another is the discrete time signal, and we have discussed here the periodic and aperiodic signals and how these signals will be generated using the MATLAB. And we have also discussed some special type of the functions which are needed during the time of the analysis and designing of any system. And so far we have discussed only the continuous time signals. In the next lecture we will discuss here the discrete time signals, and after reviewing the different types of the signals here in the continuous domain and the discrete domain, we will utilize these signals for the purpose of the designing and for the purpose of the analysis of the system. So this is about the today's lecture here. That in this lecture we have covered the topic of the basic signals, that is the review of the signal. And in this one we have discussed the continuous and discrete signals, and we have also